Well, joining me now is Douglas Murray from the Henry Jackson Society and Sunny Hundal, who is the editor of the Liberal Conspiracy blog. Gentlemen, good to have you in the programme tonight. Douglas, let's start with you. What do you make of the government's latest setback?
Well, it's obviously another problem for the government, another embarrassment for the government. Theresa May has repeatedly said it's her aim to deport Abu Qatada. He is here illegally. He came 20 years ago on a forged passport. It's very embarrassing for the Prime Minister as well, obviously. Just last month, he gave a big speech on immigration where he said that the red carpet would be rolled up for people who came here illegally. There would no longer be that red carpet. And yet again, we see that a man who came here illegally cannot be deported. And
more importantly, he's been described as a dangerous man and a risk to national security. So, Sunny, are you as exasperated as the rest of the people in this country about our judicial system?
Yes, I am. And I think that there are 2 points to make, though, that actually Abu Qatada has never been tried in the UK and all the evidence against him has never been tried in court. So, I mean, Douglas is focusing on the point that he's illegal, which is true. But the main point is that he's an alleged terrorist, or at least, you know, supposed to help people who've been terrorists. Man? Well, I clearly believe that he is a threat to the UK. I believe that. But the question is, he should be tried in court. And if we do believe in the rule of law, I think it's important for us to hold that up. And the problem here is that Theresa May is trying to avoid all that and trying to bypass the courts, and that's why she's having all this trouble.
And the rule of law is not there to please governments, and that's a good thing, isn't it?
Well, it's becoming very clear there's the rule of law and then there's the rule of the European Court and the European Convention. And these are two very different things. European Convention and the European Court are allowing a man who is here illegally to remain here illegally and not to be deported to his native country of Jordan to face trial on terrorism charges. Now, this is the key thing. The Jordanian government wants to try Abu Qatada on very serious, and they want to have a trial when he gets sent back. So there has been a conviction and absentia, but they want to do a trial again when he goes back to try him for very serious charges, including car bombings in Jordan. So the problem is for this government is that we don't send him back to an allied country in the Middle East that wants to try him, which has given us assurances that the trial will be fair.
This is a bit misleading. A lot of the evidence that Jordan used in a trial against him, where they convicted him without him even being there, was used using torture methods, and this is why the UK is having trouble taking him there.
The agreement
but there is another point here. I mean, there's no point blaming the EU. The British judges are holding up British law, which explicitly says that you cannot.
Torture,
that's
and
so if we want to do this, then we should change the law.
It's really straightforward. 2 points. First of all, the Jordanian government and the British government have gone through a very long wrangle of understandings, memorandums of understanding, to make sure that evidence that has been obtained by torture will not be used in trial against him.
So that's
the first thing. Well, the first thing, and this, well, it's deemed satisfactory by this government, by the Jordanian government. The European Court and the European Convention deems it otherwise. The question really for Britain is this: do we want to be ruled by our own laws, by our historic laws, or do we want the European Court and the European Convention to override British law and to make sure that people have to have a man who is here illegally remain here?
What would be wrong with just getting rid of this man and going against the European Court of Human Rights? What would be the problem with that?
There is a dangerous slippery slope here in that the government starts ignoring the law and saying, we're going to ignore judges and what they're saying, and we're just going to overrule them. In this case, this is exactly what they're trying to do. The judges have said it is against British law, and it's a principle that even Theresa May admits that we should not deport people to places where they use
Our allies deport people all the time and ignore the European Court. And it's something that this country could do as well. Italy does it, France does it, the UK could do it. It's not a difficult thing.
One more question to both of you. Let's start with you, Douglas. If you were in charge, what would you do with this man?
I'd make sure that Abu Qatada was on a plane back to Jordan tonight.
I would try him in this country. If we have the evidence, then we should try him here without trying to circumvent the law and circumvent judges.
Will he ever be deported?
European judges.
No, it's nothing to do with European law.
We have to leave it there, gentlemen. Thank you very much for joining us tonight.